wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I...
Do you have questions about starting a trucking business? Box truck or CDL, I've done both. I can help you start your trucking business or grow your business so that you can buy more trucks. Use the link in the description to schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. Now let's get to the video. Hey, this is Zach Pasquarello. That's okay. Is now still a good time to talk? Yeah, for sure. I've done both. I've done Amazon Relay and I've worked with other brokers. They're different. So Amazon Relay, you're not going to be able to drive as many miles. So it's really different. It kind of depends on what your driver wants. If your driver wants to drive 500 miles every day and drive all over the country, then you're not going to be able to do that with Amazon Relay. You can, but not really. If your driver just wants to stay home and just work for 6 or 8 hours a day and is fine with making $150 a day, then Amazon Relay is going to be a good option. Yeah, so basically if your driver wants to make $1,200, he needs to go over the road, and you won't be able to do that with Amazon Relay. If he's okay with making $800 a week, then he can do Amazon Relay. But I can tell you basically like what I've seen in the past, and I've seen $400 per load is pretty standard. Like between $300 and $400 per load, and it's pretty tough to do more than one load in one day, at least in the beginning, because you're not going to have access to what's called early access on the load board. You won't be able to see that. So you're only going to see kind of the leftover loads that people with early access didn't take. And from my experience, it takes I think like 2 to 4 weeks to get early access. You just have to have a really good grade. Yeah, it's not bad, but from what I've seen, a lot of the loads, at least in Pennsylvania, were like 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. You pick up from Amazon at 2 a.m. and you deliver to a post office at 8 a.m. It's usually like 3 to 5 post office stops. And it's usually going about 200 miles and it's paying about $400. The one cool thing about working with Amazon is that you can do 7 days a week. Amazon's always running. So you could potentially make $400 7 days a week. Right there, that's $2,800 per week. That's probably that's doing one load per day. That's like one good load per day. So I would say between $400 and $300 and $400 per day. So between $2,100 and $2,800 per week, running 7 days a week, 6 to 8 hours a day. There are other loads that pick up from Amazon at more reasonable times, but the majority of the loads that I've seen pick up late at night, early in the morning. How difficult is it to switch drivers? It's really up to you. It depends on how difficult you want to make it. Like I know Penske makes it like a 3-week process, but they're obviously a massive company. So we're going to have a lot less what you called red tape, a lot less like corporate documents for them to sign. But I would still recommend you as a business owner should still implement processes like an onboarding process, a hiring process. That way you make sure you thoroughly vet your potential employees. So it really depends on whether or not you're going to pay them as a 1099 contractor or as a full-time employee. A couple things you need to know. First of all, they need to have a DOT medical card. So every driver who operates any of your commercial vehicles needs to have a DOT medical card, and they get that by getting a physical. And it's not just some random physical they get from their family doctor. It has to be like a DOT approved medical physical. You also need to get at least 3 years of their motor vehicle history. So you can probably get that through like your state's Department of Transportation, wherever they have their driver's license. And you can either get 3 years or 10 years. I would just get like the 10-year report. It's going to cost like $10 to get the 10-year report. And you need that in the event of a safety audit. So whenever you have your annual audit, they are going to ask for a motor vehicle record history of one of your drivers. So and it's also, just for you, it's just good to check that. Just to make sure they didn't have any fatal crashes in the past couple of years. A couple other things, two things that I did. 3 things. First of all, take them for a road test. And I know you said they're your personal friends, but like still, have them operate the truck while you're in the truck. And then there's like a pre-trip and post-trip inspection, which I always recommend you force your drivers to do. And so, just check, whatever, like everything there is to check about the truck before and after they start driving every single day. And then the third thing, so I actually have this on my website, harrisburgbookkeeping.com/store. You can get a lot of these documents for free. A couple of them you have to pay for, but like you can get the pre and post trip inspection for free. You can get there's like a request for medical vehicle release record. You can get that document for free. Just have them sign the document. That way you have proof that, hey, I asked them to pull their motor vehicle record history. And then third, just like have some type of independent contractor form. I know you said they're your friends, but like come up with some type of document. And I have a document on my website that you can download and you can use for yourself, but just like have some sort of document in writing, like go over. I know, you might be boys right now, but like whenever you start talking about money, whenever you start talking about working and business and jobs and equipment, like things get pretty serious pretty fast. So just outline everything that could potentially come up. And the big thing is it protects you or protects them, and it just alleviates frustration down the road. Like how much you're going to pay him, days off, is he going to wear a uniform, just whatever. Just try to think of anything that could possibly come up. And then finally, also on my website, I just have like a general rules, policies, guidelines, standards for your company. I have like a 2-page document, and it just like kind of outlines like safety first, blah, blah, blah. Like here's the rules, here's the company policies, like treat the equipment like you treat your own equipment. I can inspect the equipment at any time. So just like have some documentation, have some paperwork in the beginning. That way it just like legitimizes your business relationship, even if they are your friends, especially if they're your friends. The market is terrible right now. And what I've seen with the freight market is it fluctuates like every 1 or 2 years, it kind of goes up and down. And it's terrible right now. Obviously diesel is just about twice as expensive right now as it was a year ago. And the spot market has declined. The spot market is like where we find our freight, and the spot market has declined by about 80 cents over the past 3 months. So it was close to $3 a mile, maybe $3.50 a mile we were getting paid. And I'm sorry, this is for a 53-foot dry van. But it's still applicable to box trucks. Like you might have been getting paid $2 a mile back in February, and now you're probably only going to be getting paid like $1.60 a mile with a box truck, maybe $1.50 a mile. Like the rates have gone down and diesel has doubled. Yeah. So right now I am breaking even, sometimes losing money. But what's going to happen in 6 months? So interestingly, in May, there were more DOT authority cancellations in the month of May than there ever have been in any other month in the history of DOT authorities. So more people in May went out of business than ever before. So now is probably a terrible time to get started. But if you get started with the idea of just breaking even, then you're going to be fine. Even losing a couple $100s, a couple $1,000s, like get started now, learn the business, make some mistakes, and then whenever diesel prices go down, whenever the spot market goes up, whenever more authorities go out of business, there's fewer of us, fewer owner operators, which means supply and demand for the brokers, they're forced to pay us more because there's less of us. So I really believe in 6 to 12 months, those of us who survive this, freight recession, whatever you want to call it, it's gonna improve. It's gonna get better. Yeah. So interestingly, used trucks month over month from April to May, the price of used trucks has decreased by 11%, but they're still up 50% year over year. So from June 2021 to June 2022, you're still paying 50% more for a used truck. But the trend is that the price of used trucks is declining, which is good for us if you want to buy a new truck.